Hello and welcome to the Real Travel Show, where we take you on an exciting journey of fascinating places around the world. Invite your friends. Be my guest on this weekly journey around the world. Discover the food. Oh yes, my friend. The music, arts, culture, and the magical sights and sounds.
Welcome to the Real Travel Show with me, yours truly, Ras Mubarak, and you, my friend, are very welcome. You're watching the Real Travel Show. My name is Ras Mubarak. It's good to see you again. We've got an exciting broadcast, my friends, in this edition. We are traveling to one of the most exciting places in the world. Yes, indeed. This country has got a very cool young prime minister. It is the second largest country in the world. It's got loads and lots of polar bear. I'm talking about the country that has the maple leaf. And in case you're still guessing, it is Canada. Canada is big on so many things. It's a member of the G7 group of nations. It's doing very, very well in terms of providing equal opportunity for everybody. Very advanced country by all standards. And who better, my friends, to tell us about this jolly good country than the High Commissioner, Her Excellency H.E.Kati CSABA. She is the High Commissioner of Canada to Ghana and Sierra Leone and Ambassador Designate to the Republic of Togo. She's been in all sort of exciting places, started a career in the Foreign Service in 1993, rose through the ranks, served in Eastern Europe, positioned at one time in Kiev. She served in the east of Africa, Ethiopia especially, with specific mandate to oversee Canada's development assistance to Ethiopia. And of course, she's seen the east, now she's in the west, so we're going to ask her how the two compare. It's good to see you, Excellency.
Well, it's great to see you too, Ras.
And I love the beautiful dress.
Oh, thank you so much.
Very Canadian.
Yes, thank you, yes. I try to show off, the colors of Canada.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So you've had some stints in East Africa, in Ethiopia.
That's right.
As the minister and consular, and here you are in West Africa.
And here I am.
I mean, you've had a bit of the East and the West, which is, what are your observations so far?
Well, they're both very different countries, of course, and I try actually not to compare my postings because it's unfair to every country to say this country is better than that country or this one is more interesting than another. Every country has wonderful things to offer. I absolutely enjoyed my posting in Ethiopia, but I'm delighted to be here in Ghana. I've had a wonderful year and a half so far and really enjoying to get to know Ghanaian culture, Ghanaian people. I've felt so warmly welcomed here, so I must say I'm really enjoying Ghana.
That's good to hear. Have you tried some local meals?
Of course I have. I've tried all kinds of things. I find kelewele really delicious, and I'm very fond of red as well.
Oh my, that's my favorite as well.
Yes, is it? Okay. And one of the things I'm enjoying about being here is the wonderful seafood as well. So having fresh fish and fresh seafood, it's been a real pleasure.
Interesting.
Yes.
And congratulations to Canada. I mean, you haven't been to the World Cup in 36 years.
That's right.
And for the first time in 36 years, you have qualified. Congrats.
Thank you. We're very, very pleased. And we're pleased that our win that brought us to this point actually happened in Canada. So that was an extra special feeling.
What took you so long?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, there's so many countries, of course, that are competing for the World Cup. It's such a competitive field. I mean, I think it's fair to say that football, or soccer as we call it in Canada, has only become really popular in the last few decades in Canada. And so you now have these young generations that have been playing the sport since they were young children, and so it means that the quality of players and the pool of players is just so much better than it used to be. So I think that is a factor. I think it's fair to say as well the fact that we have such a multicultural, diverse team has been an important factor. And I note that there is, in fact, a Ghanaian-born player on our team, Alfonso Davies, I think his name is. So that, of course, it must be contributing, right, to have that Ghanaian-born player. But it's just really great to see, and we're so pleased that this opportunity has come up. But I must just add, because of course we're talking about World Cup men's soccer, but our women's team has been doing phenomenally well
that's good
as
to
well.
hear.
And so out of the 8 women's World Cup events that have happened so far, a Canadian team has been present at 7 of those 8. And we won the gold medal in the last Olympics with our women's team.
That's brilliant.
Yes.
I didn't know this.
Yes, so there you go.
There seems to be a lot of focus on men's football.
Yes,
but of course the women are showing us what they can do.
Exactly.
Are you dreading meeting Ghana at some point in the World Cup?
Oh, well, Ghana has a great team, for sure. And you know, as a Canadian, of course, I'm always rooting for Canada, but I would also be rooting for Ghana. So it would put me in a tough position. But I will look forward to both teams getting as far as they possibly can in the World Cup process.
Absolutely. And you know, it may be interesting to have Canada and Ghana play in a friendly.
Sure. That would be wonderful. I know I've just been reading about the friendly process, and I know that it's a little bit more complicated than one might think to organize these games.
Yeah.
But if it's possible, it would be fantastic to see Ghana and Canada play a friendly game.
Okay. Now, just before we go into the hard stuff, I've seen a musical instrument. I don't know whether...
Yes.
Do you play?
I do. That's not why we have a piano in our residence. I think most Canadian residences have a piano. A grand piano, and it's a nice opportunity to be able to showcase live music from time to time.
Okay.
I do play a little bit, but I haven't taken lessons since I was a teenager, so it's pretty rusty.
Okay, and which instrument is your favorite?
Well, if my parents were watching this show, I would have to say the violin and viola, because they were musicians, and
were they?
And those are the instruments they played. Yes, but actually, I love the human voice. I think that is a beautiful instrument as well.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. One of the strategies of the Canadian government is to promote wellness. You know, and I know soccer is very popular in Canada, tennis, boxing. Are we likely to see Kathy on a bike in Accra to Tamale or Kumasi, you know, raising funds and creating awareness?
Well, you know, wellness is indeed a very important topic for us. Physical wellness, but also mental health and wellness. And we like to do what we can. I have to say, it's been a little while since I've been on a bicycle, so I'm not sure that I would necessarily be the one who might be leading a bicycle tour from Accra to Tamale, indeed. But you know, I have learned that you can get really wonderful bicycles here that are made out of bamboo. One of my colleagues told me, so I'm thinking about buying a bamboo bicycle from Accra as one of my souvenirs from Ghana, and bringing it back to Canada, and then getting myself back into the rhythm. But just to say, there are other activities that we do that promote wellness.
And which are these activities?
So we engage through, well, first of all, we have programs within our High Commission. We want to make sure that our staff all have opportunities to make sure that they are healthy, again, both mentally and physically, but through some of our programming as well, we engage in a variety of activities.
That's interesting. Now, in terms of policy for Canada, I see an evolving shift in policy, in focus, you know, especially when it comes to international assistance. I mean, for example, there's more emphasis on supporting women and girls, you know, as part of the strategy for sustainable development, not just in inner cities, but also in local communities. As far as Ghana is concerned, what is the focus of Canada? Or is this one blueprint for everybody?
Well, there is one blueprint in the sense that since 2017, our government has put in place the Feminist International Assistance Policy, or the FIAP, as we like to call it for short. But that is a blueprint, an outline that guides all of our programming, our development assistance programming in all of the countries in which we work. And that policy puts gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls at the very heart of everything we do. But then once in each individual country, then there is an adaptation of that policy to really focus in on the priorities of the country. So here in Ghana, we have chosen to work in a few areas, so on gender equality specifically, but also on sustainable economic growth, on health, and we try to be taking always an innovative approach, and we are trying to adopt also climate smart processes to everything that we do. So those are areas where we have chosen to focus here in Ghana. And so, for example, knowing that agriculture is such an integral part of Ghana's economic growth and economic potential, we have a large set of programming that is focused on climate smart agriculture. We've been working closely with the Ministry of Agriculture to deliver programming that supports the existing network of agricultural advisors, so the outreach workers who get out to farmers and help them to understand how they can improve their crops and so on. Extension workers is what I meant to say, and they and through that we've been able to support improvements in the farming practices for 4.9 million farmers across Ghana, including 1.9 million women farmers. So that's the way that we are both, we're supporting economic growth, we're supporting women's economic empowerment, while we're also taking a climate smart approach to making sure that the work that we do is in line with Ghana's interests and priorities for climate change adaptation. We've also chosen to work in other agriculture areas, for example, like supporting different value chains around different crops, like shea, for example, or cocoa, or other tree crops. And so we find ways to take that policy as a starting point, and then we elaborate it based on the needs of the country.
Hello and welcome to the Real Travel Show, where we take you on an exciting journey of fascinating places around the world. Invite your friends. Be my guest on this weekly journey around the world. Discover the food. Oh yes, my friend. The music, arts, culture, and the magical sights and sounds.
Welcome to the Real Travel Show with me, yours truly, Ras Mubarak, and you, my friend, are very welcome. That's interesting. I mean, you are still short on the empowerment of women in, equaling their male counterparts. For instance, you mentioned 1.9 million women in the area of agric. Are we likely to see these figures change anytime soon?
Well, we will do everything we can on our side to make that happen. Of course, there are policy decisions involving the government of Ghana as well on where they're putting priorities. But I must say that we work very well with the government of Ghana. We understand that this government also is putting a strong emphasis on gender equality. So in other areas, for example, in the healthcare sector, we do a lot of work that is very specifically focused on mothers and babies, for example, on young girls, also on adolescent girls. So we're, depending on the field, we're doing a lot of work that supports women and girls.
Okay. Export Development Canada designated Ghana, as one of its key markets in Africa. And from the High Commission's website, Canadian exports totaled more than 372.8 million, whilst imports from Ghana reached 102.6 million. Now, these figures may seem low compared to other markets. What's the target in terms of trade volume?
Well, let me start by saying that Ghana for Canada is our fourth largest our trade market in Africa. So it's already doing quite well.
Yeah.
You know, so first I'd say we don't have a set target per se. We're not aiming for a specific figure, but we are doing everything we can to increase our trade and investment relationship with Ghana, in part because we know there are great areas for Canadian companies to explore. We know that there's so much potential here. We also recognize, in line with Ghana's Beyond Aid approach, that this is the way of the future, that eventually you know, in years to come, our development assistance will start to diminish, and trade and investment is the way of the future, and is the way that we will continue to engage as partners, you know, on an equal footing. And so we're always looking for what are those new opportunities. We have an active trade team at the High Commission, and as I say, we're always looking for those opportunities. So we will continue to do everything we can to increase those numbers. Yes, exactly.
Okay, and looking at the sort of things that Canada brings into Ghana, I mean, cereal, textile, beverages, is there a threat, you know, considering the distance between Ghana and Canada, and the fact that a trader here might want to do another country that is closer instead of all the way to Canada? Do you foresee, you know, some threats to this volume of trade between our two countries?
To be honest, not really. Because we have, first of all, we have a really well-developed Trade Commissioner service. I mentioned the trade team at our High Commission. So they are staffed by members of our Trade Commissioner service, whose job it is to be constantly looking out for what are the best markets for Canadian goods and services. They are always exploring new opportunities. We look very closely at what are the interests of the government of Ghana, what are the interests that we see evolving in Ghanaian markets, and so we really try to target as much as possible so that we're bringing in the right kinds of companies so that they can make good matches with Ghanaian counterparts, and we find areas where, you know, where they will cooperate. We also have an active Canada-Ghana Chamber of Commerce here, so they also play a role, of course, in supporting that two-way trade relationship and in finding opportunities for our companies to collaborate. And so I think there will always be great opportunities here. Certainly, there is a distance. You know, we can't ignore the fact that Canada's across the Atlantic Ocean from Ghana, but you know, but so are many other trading countries, and so it's really a question of making sure that we do our homework, that we use some of our, you know, our world-leading tools in market assessments to be able to find what are the right niche areas for Canada, and we'll continue to grow in those areas.
And from where you sit, do you think shea butter, for instance, will do well in Canada?
Shea butter, I think, already does pretty well. It's
Have you tried it before?
I have. I use shea butter products all the time. Yes. And I must say, the first time I ever used shea butter, it was from Burkina Faso, but that was a few years ago, before I'd visited Ghana. And no, I think it's a great natural product with you know, with so many great qualities, and I'm sure that is an area where we'll see increasing interest as more and more people are interested in natural beauty products and natural health products.
And especially for Canada, you know, that has its eyes set so much on, you know, sustainable development and improving on the environment and everything else.
Yes.
And obviously Canada is doing great in those areas. So in terms of humanitarian support, Ghana obviously seems to be doing well. I mean, sexual and reproductive health and rights. Is there a likelihood to see a shift in focus in the area of humanitarian assistance, or are we going to see more of the same from Canada?
So what we consider humanitarian assistance on the Canadian side, we're not actually providing any to Ghana. humanitarian assistance for us is the kind of emergency support that we
Okay.
provide in crisis situations. So,
Yeah, we've had floods.
yes, that's true. But I mean, fortunately, Ghana has now reached the status of a lower middle income country. So,
Yeah.
so there are a lot of resources here that can be used to address some of those urgent needs. If there ever were, a major crisis, then of course we would look to engage. But the kinds of things you were referring to, the sexual and reproductive health and rights,
Yeah.
that is an element of our programming that we do through our development assistance.
Okay.
So that is one tranche. I mentioned that we were engaged on the health side,
Yeah.
and that is one element of the work that we are doing in health. Is very much supporting the sexual and reproductive health and rights of young women and young men in Ghana, and we do that working with trusted partners. We know that it's important for empowering women and girls so that they are able to to take their rightful place in the economy and society and play the role that they want to play.
Absolutely.
So just to continue on that question, I should mention as well that that through all forms of our development assistance with Ghana, in the year 2020, 2021, our fiscal year, we spent over 83 million Canadian dollars through all the different forms of development assistance that we provide. That most of that is through our bilateral program that is specifically focused on Ghana, but we also provide support through different partnership arrangements and through multilateral support. So it's quite a bit of funding that is coming in from Canada that is used to support our objectives here. And just to give you another kind of example of some of the work that we do, we have a great partner in IDE Canada, which has been supporting the value chain around sanitation, and they have found a way of producing these very ecologically friendly toilets for use in rural communities where they don't have necessarily the kind of piping that allows for toilets that we would find here in Accra, for example. And that has been a really innovative way of reducing the damage being caused to the environment by open field defecation. It's been very user-friendly, and that these are affordable for households, and they're bringing about some really great results for the families that are able to take advantage of these toilets.
That's a good one. I mean, sustainable development, something that is ecologically friendly is obviously, the future and the way to go. But you did mention about extra amount of funds that have come in, bilaterally. I'm going to pick up on that. Our friendship, Excellency, the friendship between Ghana and Canada, days back into the 1900s. Yes. As a matter of fact, Ghana, is the first country in Africa to have received international assistance from Canada. The Canadian people have given Ghana more than 2.5 billion in humanitarian aid since 1957. We've never seen a Canadian Prime Minister visit Ghana.
That is true. It's not to say that there's not interest, and as you may know, Prime Minister Trudeau has met on several occasions with President Akufo-Addo on the margins
in
of
Canada
different
and elsewhere.
Yes, in Canada and elsewhere, on the margins of different multilateral meetings, for example. And I know that there is an interest for the Prime Minister in visiting Canada. Yes, we are doing our best as a High Commission to make that happen.
If you have a friend, you would visit the friend, and the friend would visit you. I mean, I could remember President Rawlings's visit to Canada. I could remember Kufuor's. I could remember Atta Mills's and Mohammed's.
Yes.
And President Akufo-Addo's.
Yes.
Is it a lopsided friendship? Because, I mean, Prime Minister Trudeau, a man I admire very much, very agile. He's done quite a lot of visits. One would expect that, Ghana, being a country Canada has supported the most and the earliest, would have received the Canadian Prime Minister as a way of cementing, of consolidating, our bond of friendship. You don't think so?
I don't think that you should read into the fact that he
I'm
has
not
a
reading
visit,
political
the
meaning.
fact that that Canada in some way sees Ghana as a lesser partner. Ghana is a very important partner for Canada. That is absolutely the fact. And our two countries have worked together on a range of issues. Canada and Ghana have we've co-chaired things at the UN. We do have regular interactions. I would say part of the one of the factors we need to keep in mind is, of course, the COVID pandemic, which has prevented travel for the last 2 years. And let me just point out that in the past few months, since at least on our side, on the Canadian government side, we've relaxed some of our restrictions. around international travel. And since those restrictions have been lifted, we've seen 2 cabinet ministers here just in the past 3 months, and 4 parliamentarians, including 2 senators and two MPs. So I think that's a pretty good sign of the high regard in which we hold Ghana, and we will keep working on getting a prime minister's visit as soon as possible.
Let's come to the issue of migration to Canada.
Yes. There's always a question about migration.
We've got, when we run this online, that we're going to be speaking to you, we've got loads of people saying they've applied, it's taking them a year, the process is too long. What is happening, Excellency?
Or for short-term travelers, for people who want to go on holiday or to visit their families, we strongly encourage people to give at least 4 to 6 weeks before they need them.
Hello and welcome to the Real Travel Show, where we take you on an exciting journey of fascinating places around the world. Invite your friends. Be my guest on this weekly journey around the world. Discover the food. Oh yes, my friend. The music, arts, culture, and the magical sights and sounds.
Welcome to the Real Travel Show with me, yours truly, Ras Mubarak, and you, my friend, are very welcome.